Hey y'all, so today is a bit of a chill day. I thought I'd just kind of take a relaxing little moment to try and write some lyrics. And we're going to try and do it in a little bit of a fun way because sometimes when I feel like writing a song or feel like writing lyrics, but I have no idea what about, I like to raid my fiance's bookshelf. So today I am taking arguably my fiance's favorite book, Pride and Prejudice. So I know there's a ton of actual famous quotes from this, but I'm going to try to avoid those and just there. A reading from Pride and Prejudice. How very suddenly you all quitted Netherfield last November, Mr. Darcy. It must have been it must have been a most agreeable surprise. Agreeable surprise? It might be a little tricky because this is a little bit of Old English. Not Old English, they just talk old. My fiancé has highlighted some stuff in this book. How nice for me. I certainly have not the talent which some people possess, said Darcy, of conversing easily with those I have never seen before. I cannot catch their tone of conversation, or appear interested in their concerns as I often see done. You can tell it's been a time for me because even just reading out loud is frying my brain a little bit. Darcy smiled and said, "You are perfectly right. You have employed your time much better. No one admitted to the privilege of hearing you can think anything wanting." Did my brain shut off or did that not make any sense? No one admitted to the privilege of hearing you can think anything wanting. We neither of us perform to strangers. We neither of us perform to strangers. Neither of us perform to strangers. Page 167, we'll keep an eye on it. God, this is such a well-loved copy of Pride and Prejudice. We've got flagged pages, highlights. The spine is just whew. In vain I have struggled. It will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. That's one of the famous ones. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. I'm not using it. He is a man of very large property in Derbyshire, I understand. Lady Catherine has been of infinite use. My real purpose was to see you, and to judge, if I could, whether I might ever hope to make you love me. My avowed one, or what I avowed to myself, was to see whether your sister was still partial to Bingley, and if she were, to make the confession to him which I have since made. Shall you ever have courage to announce to Lady Catherine what is to befall her? I am more likely to want time than courage, Elizabeth, but it ought to be done. And you will give me a sheet of paper, it shall be done directly. And if you will give me a sheet of paper, it shall be done directly. And if I had not a letter to write myself? And if I had not a letter to write myself? Let's write that one down. What was that first one I liked? It's 160 something. Neither of us perform to strangers. All right, we got one from the end and from the middle. Let's try and find something from the beginning. Oh, this is the interior. This is the introduction. Why do these sentences all make sense? This can't be the book. She is tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me. And I am in no humor at present to give consequence to young ladies who are slighted by other men. You have better return to your partner and enjoy her smiles, for you are wasting your time with me. Thunder, thunder, Darcy. Ah. Miss Bennet, he acknowledged, to be pretty, but she smiled too much. That she did. I said I wouldn't focus on all the parts that she's highlighted in this, but she's highlighted the whole book, so. Miss Elizabeth Bennet, repeated Miss Bingley. I am all astonishment. How long has she been such a favorite? And pray, when am I to wish you joy? I kind of I am all astonishment. I'm all astonishment. Awesome. So, in my sloppy handwriting, we have our 3 quotes. Let's try and make something out of it. From the beginning of the book, we have a quote. I am all astonishment. Awesome. From the middle of the book, we have, neither of us perform to strangers. I really like that one. And from the end of the book, we have, and if I had not a letter to write myself. So I think it'll be fun if we try and take the quote from the beginning, use it at the beginning of a verse, a quote from the middle, use it in the middle of a verse, and the quote from the end at the end of a verse. Just give yourself little challenges, keep you interested. So let's start with, I am all astonishment. At the beginning. Cool. I am all astonishment. I am all astonishment. Just do first thing that comes to mind. I don't know. I am all astonishment looking at your dress. Now I gotta rhyme astonishment with something. There's admonishment, which is like, it works. I forget what book I got this from, but they recommended writing the alphabet at the top of the page. Just so when you're looking for rhymes, you can go like astonishment, babonishment, caconishment. And obviously, like, I don't know, a little more intelligent than that, but sometimes it's as simple as that, to like think of a word that is like locked in the back of your brain that wouldn't come to the front without just like going through every single step. So we're going to do that. So astonishment, 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 astonishment. That's E, but it still sounds like astonishment. Fatonishment, tarnishment, astonishment, tarnishment. Okay, how do we make that work? So I want the last two words in the third line to be tarnish men. So I am all astonishment, looking at your dress, walking by you tarnish men, walking by you tarnish men. All right, now we got dress. S, bess, kes, des, s, fess. I am all astonishment, looking at your dress, walking by you tarnish men, making them confess. And then I feel like you go into like a chorus after that, right? So I am all astonishment, looking at your dress, walking by you tarnish men, making them confess. And my brain goes, making them confess. Oh my God, doing a singing, going to ba ba ba. If you want to go and take a ride with me, you better hit me, baby, one more time. But yeah, like going into like a little chorus like that. So like this could be a small little verse that leads into like a song that's all about the chorus. Like the verse is there to give you like a little 20-second break where you're like, oh, this isn't the same thing. And then goes right back into the part that you actually want to hear. So now we have our next line. So neither of us performed to strangers. And we want this to be a middle line. So if we're going to keep these all 4 lines, this will just either be the second line or the third line. I'm feeling second. So I'm just going to like write that on the second line already. So maybe dangers. I know like stranger, danger is like a really easy rhyme. But what do we got? We got stranger, ranger, danger, manger. I might just be stuck with danger. That might just be what it is. Something, 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 danger. Neither of us performed to strangers. Maybe just like going in, we knew the dangers. Neither of us performed to strangers. I want to say something about like, you didn't feel like a stranger, you know? I knew you looked familiar, seen each other before, met in passing, deja vu. So maybe it's all this deja vu. I don't think I've ever used the term deja vu in a song before, so that's cool. Going in, we knew the dangers. Neither of us performed to strangers. So maybe it's all this deja vu. Or maybe I confused new and new. Obviously spelled N-E-W-K-N-E-W. Going in, we knew the dangers. Neither of us performed to strangers. So maybe it's all this deja vu. Or maybe I confused new and new. Cool. And then that would probably have like another 4 lines. Either just like a continuation of the verse or like a pre-chorus, and then I would take that into the chorus. That's awesome. 2 down, 1 to go. All right, so the last line of this verse is going to be, and if I had not a letter to write myself. We may shorten this a little bit or like tweak the actual quote because it's a bit of a mouthful. I think I'll just cut the and. I think I can work with if I had not a letter to write myself. I may just work backwards in this one. So what leads into if I had not a letter to write myself? Let's see what rhymes with myself. Self and self. Wealth, my wealth and myself. Okay, we could try my wealth. Let's see what comes of my wealth. So what is the use of my fame? So what is the use of my fame and my wealth if I had not a letter to write myself? Now we got the first two lines to take care of. Maybe I should make the first two lines really short, because I feel like as a verse, sometimes I know I can just make everything wordy or nothing wordy. And I feel like I don't play enough with different lengths of lines within a same verse, or even sometimes an entire song. So let's try and make these two first lines like really short and simple. This is a tricky one. So we're basically setting up a general story of like writer's block. It could be, but I really despise writing about writer's block. It's just so nails on a chalkboard to me personally. Or maybe it's the story of someone who has reached a level of fame and wealth that they don't have to work anymore, but they're realizing that the work kept them going better than actually being wealthy and famous. What's the use of all the money if I don't get to do what I love? I could buy any existence, or I could buy any life, but life doesn't have that many rhymes to it. I could buy any life, I could buy any being, I could buy any lifestyle. Sometimes it can be hard writing lyrics by yourself, because I feel like if I had one other person, you bounce ideas off each other. Or having someone who thinks differently than you can really help. It just make your songs sound more dynamic and a little bit less like one person wrote them. I've been very into learning more about like writing partnerships, and specifically like recording studios that would have like 2 or 3 like really good artists in them at the same time, and they're basically just like co-writing each other's albums. So yeah, sometimes just like an outside something can help, but that's also why like you always got to play your songs for someone before you like finish them, you know? They're not truly finished until like you play it for someone and they're like, that was really good, I really liked that. And granted, you'll always have something that you'll want to change, but I could buy any existence thanks to hard work and persistence. I could buy any existence thanks to hard work and persistence, but what is the use of my fame and my wealth if I have not a letter to write myself? That's a good start to something. I feel like the first two are really solid. The third one's just got stuff on paper so that you can put music to it and maybe change it later, or maybe you'll write that verse, put it in initially, and then write 2 or 3 other verses that actually find the story that goes with that. And then you end up not even using this bit of verse because it doesn't quite make sense. It's not quite coherent right now. But yeah, so our 3 little sections of verse that we wrote today. The first from I am all astonishment. I am all astonishment, looking at your dress, walking by you tarnished men, making them confess. The second, neither of us performed to strangers. Going in, we knew the dangers. Neither of us performed to strangers. So maybe it's all this deja vu, or maybe I confused new and new. I think that might be my favorite of today. And then finally, and if I had not a letter to write myself. I could buy any existence, thanks to hard work and persistence. But what is the use of my fame and my wealth if I have not a letter to write myself? So yeah, I'm happy with all 3 of those. And obviously, like, all 3 aren't necessarily their final forms. Who knows? Maybe I'll write music around them all and they'll basically stay untouched, but more than likely they'll be edited, changed. I may even end up cutting out the specific line that I pulled from Pride and Prejudice. This is all about inspiration and getting blood flowing through your brain and just enjoying and finding little joys in the art of songwriting, lyric writing, because at the end of the day, I got 3 cool little sets of lyrics that I didn't have like an hour ago. And out of these 3, I can write 3 songs. 3 relatively different and cool songs. Tell me what you thought. Tell me if you like this. Tell me any lyrics you wrote from the text of Pride and Prejudice or from your favorite book. And let me know which 3 of these lyrics I should put music to first. All right, I'll see you later.